On June 22nd, something unprecedented happened in the Middle East. American bombers descended on Iran's nuclear facilities. It was an audacious move, proved ineffective against a concerted attack. Those moments etched themselves into Putin's mind, underscoring a reality he'd rather not confront. Stealth aircraft, cruise missiles, and ballistic missiles, nothing was believed to be able to penetrate Iran's air defenses. At least that was the perception. Then came Operation Midnight Hammer. In less than 12 hours, all 3 nuclear sites in Iran were targeted with a combination of air-launched cruise missiles and laser-guided bombs. Among them, the GBU-57 Eagle Strike. These bombs burrow through concrete, penetrate deep underground, and explode with deadly force. If these systems couldn't protect Iran, a country nestled within a region that Russia considers its sphere of influence, then what hope does it offer to Russia itself? Iran is not Ukraine. It doesn't face a direct land threat from NATO. Its adversaries aren't part of the Western alliance. Yet even Iran's air defenses couldn't hold back America's precision-guided munitions. So what chance does Russia stand? The recent escalation in the Israel-Palestine conflict serves as a grim reminder of the fragility of peace and the potential for chaos to erupt. Economic sanctions imposed by the West over the Ukraine conflict are taking a heavy toll. Russia's economy is feeling the pinch, its financial reserves dwindling. It faces an uphill battle to maintain its military strength while navigating these economic choppy waters. He's painted himself as a strong man, a leader who can navigate the complexities of the global stage with unmatched skill. But Operation Midnight Hammer challenges that image. It reveals a chink in his armor, a vulnerability that undermines his carefully crafted persona. And to make matters worse, the Wagner Group's mutiny last month exposed deep fissures within Russia's security apparatus. Will it invest in upgrading its air defense systems? Or will it take a different path altogether? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. The skies are no longer the exclusive domain of Russia. The balance of power has shifted, and Russia finds itself on shaky ground. It was a stark reminder of the potential for internal strife. It shook the foundations of Russia's military hierarchy, creating ripples that reached far beyond Russia's borders. Russia's stance on the conflict is delicate, caught between its historical ties with Palestine and its current relationship with Israel. The shadow of the Syrian conflict looms large, where Russia played a pivotal role in shaping the outcome. And now, with the threat of Iran looming, Russia's position becomes even more precarious. It needs Israel's cooperation to counter Iranian influence in Syria. At the same time, it faces pressure from Palestine to back its cause. To add to this complexity, rumors persist of a possible ground assault in Gaza, a prospect that could further destabilize the region and complicate Russia's strategic interests. Even deeply buried targets, hardened nuclear bunkers, fortified command centers, nothing was safe. Just weeks before Iran's nuclear facilities were illuminated by bunker-busting bombs, Russia made a show of force itself, flying to strategic bomber aircraft over the North Pole, a message aimed directly at North America. The safety it has long believed it enjoys might be an illusion. The systems that promise protection could be as vulnerable as their Iranian counterparts. The time for complacency is over. Russia's response to the Iranian strike is telling. Statements condemning the attack, diplomatic protests, and expressions of solidarity with Iran. These are all expected moves, all well-rehearsed gestures on the international stage. But they don't mask the anxiety, the doubt, the questions that linger. Why did the air defenses fail? How could this happen? The implications go beyond the immediate. It sends shockwaves across Russia's military establishment. It raises doubts about the reliability of its weapon systems, especially at a time when tensions are high and threats loom large. It was a reminder of Russia's reach, a declaration of its ability to project power. It was a bold move, a risky one, underscoring Russia's desperation to be taken seriously. But what if the roles were reversed? What if instead of being the aggressor, Russia found itself on the receiving end of an attack? How would its air defenses fare? The message from Iran is clear and stark. The systems that are supposed to provide security are compromised. And now every military installation in Russia, especially those housing sensitive assets or critical infrastructure, suddenly seems vulnerable. On the eve of the American strike, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened a meeting of his security cabinet, signaling the imminent danger. The stakes were high. But amidst the tension, there was a surprise. Israel decided to stay out of the American offensive. It chose not to join the airstrikes. Now that's a bold decision. It reflects a sense of confidence, a trust in America's military might. But it also raises questions about Israel's own capabilities. Could it not defend itself against Iran's retaliation? Did it anticipate America's decisive action? The chess pieces are moving on the board, and each move reverberates across the region. Your support means the world to us and allows us to keep bringing you top-notch content. It's also the chilling realization that the systems Russia relies on to repel attacks may not be as invincible as they seem. The S-400, Russia's most advanced air defense system, is touted as its pinnacle of air defense engineering, designed to counter stealth aircraft and intercept ballistic missiles, was nowhere to be seen. Where were the plumes of smoke that signify an interception? Where were the reports of shoot-downs? Why did the S-400 remain ominously silent? It was as if the system had no answer to the onslaught. The silence was deafening. It hinted at the possibility that Russia's best might not be good enough. Very systems, the S-300 has been a prominent feature in many conflicts, each time touted as an impenetrable shield. Yet during Operation Midnight Hammer, when push came to shove, the S-300 didn't stand up to the test. It was as if it faltered at the crucial moment, leaving those who relied on it vulnerable. The system, which was supposed to be a technological marvel, seemed ordinary against the backdrop of America's precision strikes. And let's not forget the S-75, the aging giant, a system so old that it predates America's stealth aircraft. Yet it was still touted as effective against modern threats. But as American stealth bombers penetrated deep into Iranian airspace, it became clear that the S-75 couldn't keep up. That safeguard Russian skies might be as vulnerable as Iran, as if push came to shove. Think about that. Russia boasts the most extensive air defense system in the world, a web of S-300s, S-400s, and S-75s spread across its vast territory. They're the backbone of Russia's defense, the shield that Putin believes will keep him safe from Western aggression. But on that fateful night, that shield looked weak, almost translucent. What if the US and NATO were to unite? Would Russia's shield then crumble like sand slipping through fingers? The world held its breath as the first bombs fell. It wasn't just a raid. It was a warning, a demonstration of raw power. The US had entered Iran's airspace with deadly intent. And no one, absolutely no one, was expecting it. We saw the moment replayed time and again. The precision strikes, the bursts of light. Each explosion resonating a message that reverberated far beyond the borders of Iran. This was a statement meant to shake the world. And guess who was at the receiving end of that message? None other than Russian President Vladimir Putin. He watched with growing concern as the United States Air Force performed with surgical precision, targeting Iran's nuclear sites with bunker-busting bombs and cruise missiles. And it wasn't just the display of force that caught him off guard. It was the vulnerability exposed. It was the uncomfortable realization that struck him like the precision munitions fired from stealth bombers. Air defense systems, touted as impenetrable, failed to intercept. Fighter jets scrambled and then fell silent, taken down one by one. And the reason that struck fear into Putin's heart was starkly simple. He knew that what America could do in Iran, it could potentially do in Russia. Operation Midnight Hammer, as it came to be known, exposed the frailty of Iran's air defenses. Systems that Russia had painstakingly installed, maintained, and updated. Let's rewind a bit. Before June 22nd, Iran's air defenses were considered formidable, bolstered by Russian-made systems that purportedly intercepted incoming threats with unwavering accuracy. Before we continue, if you enjoy our content, please consider supporting us. It's not just the revelation of Iran's defensive shortcomings. And then there's the S-300, a system that Russia has exported worldwide, including to Iran, China, Egypt, and most notably, Turkey. Now think about this. The timing is crucial. As the dust settles over Iran, there's a pregnant silence hanging in the air. It's the silence of unanswered questions. Adding to the intrigue is the Israeli angle. The shadow war between Israel and Iran has been intensifying. And as Russia watches, it can't help but wonder what it would do if faced with a similar situation. But it's not just regional tensions that are testing Russia's mettle. So what does this mean for Russia? It means a reckoning is at hand. Russia must confront a harsh reality. For Putin, this episode is more than a geopolitical headache. It's a personal blow to his legacy. What happens next remains uncertain. Will Russia double down on its alliance with Iran?